They say that there's nothing which is not touched by politics. So it comes as no surprise if even the World Cup was politicized or political parties actually jumped into the fray. Not as players, not necessarily as audience, but as to score political points, especially with the elections around the corner. Well, the first example is of this particular point which was put forward by the Congress party on the social media platform when they said India naam hi kafi hai. Of course, they were not just talking about the Indian cricket team, but they were also talking about the larger India Front Alliance. In fact, even as the match was going on and before it began, the Congress party as its allies in the India Front kept on taking pot shots at the BJP, saying that when India wins, it just goes on to show that the BJP will have to acknowledge the fact that India will win. They also went on to say that just as the Indian cricket team is going to win the World Cup, so will the India Front win in 2024. Unfortunately, that's not what really happened. But if you thought that the pot shots would end there, it just didn't.
1983 में जब इंडिया जीता था, उस समय इंदिरा जी थी.
This is doing great injustice to our Indian cricket team. It is doing great injustice to sport. And it shows the level to which they can go just because of their hatred for Prime Minister Modi.
Apart from the few leaders led by the Congress party, like the Congress president, Mr. Manickam Tagore, who himself is an avid sports player as well as watcher. He at one point of time used to play hockey and football. There were many others like him, like Rahul Gandhi, Jairam Ramesh, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, all of them accepting the fact that this is what we should show as a team spirit. We need to accept the fact that whenever you play a match, there are wins as well as there are losses. And therefore, one should not take any pot shots at the cricket team. Unfortunately, not many in their party believe this. So those attacks came in not just from the Congress, I would say, but also from others within the India Front Alliance. For example, Mahua Moitra also took pot shots as a part of a larger fight against the Gujaratis, the Adanis, as well as the Prime Minister, when she said that the Narendra Modi Stadium, where the finals were played, should actually be renamed because India lost a match there. But she is not the only one. The RJD also through the official Twitter or X handle made pretty much the same point. There were many attacks which were made on the Prime Minister asking whether he should have even gone there in the first place. In fact, some of them called him a panoti or inauspicious because India lost because of his presence. There were shots which are also put out of the Prime Minister laughing and joking with the Home Minister Amit Shah, and then of course a senior Congress leader asking what is there to laugh about at a time when the Indian cricket team had lost. That's the question which I'm asking this week. Should sports be kept out of politics? I know many of you will say it's never really possible because many of the sports bodies actually consist of politicians, whether we talk about the Badminton Association, whether we talk about the BCCI. But what I'm now talking about is that when a match is being played, whether its results should become a point of taking pot shots by the BJP and the Congress party. In this sense, the Congress was also very critical of the fact that why was the Prime Minister even present there in Ahmedabad, because his presence puts pressure on the Indian cricket team. But then we should also look back in time. I remember Dr. Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister had gone to Mohali to watch the final match. If you remember, in an unprecedented, I would say in recent times, the Congress office, in fact the press conference room was converted into a kind of a living room where sofas were put up, a huge TV screen was put up, and there were Congress president and other senior leaders of the party watching the cricket match from there. Because when the elections round the corner, everything becomes political, even sports. But now that the match has been over and India has unfortunately lost the game, is this a time where we should be gracious, or is this a time when you actually start taking pot shots at the Prime Minister and at the BJP? Of course, no word is coming in from the Congress party and from the India Front Alliance on the earlier tweet which talked about Jeeteka India, playing on the pun of the Indian cricket team as well as the India Front Alliance. Will the BJP also now jump into the fray and taking attacks on the India Front Alliance as well? And that's the question I leave you with this week, that why is it that a cricket crazy country like ours will never ever be rid of the politicians who will take an attack on this? And when you're talking about cricket, you're talking about elections around the corner. I remember Priyanka Gandhi Vadra right in the middle of the rally on the day of the match she did make the point that today India is playing this match and we wish them well. Of course, they understand that this is the way you mesmerize the crowd. This is the way you engage the crowd. And therefore, politics and sports can never ever be disengaged. And certainly not when elections are going on and where it becomes critical for all the stakeholders to win the match. And that's the reason why it's unfortunate that the players are facing the brunt of it. Why even the venue of the match has become now a talking point and a matter of engagement between the BJP and the Congress party. But the Congress has now started making fun, one, of the Prime Minister, second, his presence inside the match, and the third, that his presence, despite that, India lost. And therefore, the Congress has started putting out various tweets, social media platform engagements.
1983 में जब इंडिया जीता था, उस समय इंदिरा जी थी और इतनी खुश थी, पूरी टीम को अपने घर बुलाया चाय के लिए। आज उनका जन्मदिन है, पक्का आज हम फिर से जीतेंगे।
Making the point that when they were in power, that's when India had won so many cricket matches, and whenever the BJP has come to power, they have lost all the World Cup championship. And therefore, the conclusion that the Congress party is making is that if you really want India as a country to win, you have to boot out the BJP. Is this fair? Is this right? That's the question I leave you with this on this episode of One Take. Do give in your opinion on the social media platform, and thank you so much for watching.